Hello everybody, we are digging into Galatians again as we've been continuing to work through this series on the fruit of the Spirit, walking by the Spirit, living by the Spirit. And I guess where we've been yesterday is in some very ordinary daily things of patience and self-control. Now, the first thing I wanted to say that I think mentioned at the start, but want to emphasise again, we don't want to see that these are fruits of the Spirit, one thing competing against another in our personalities. They are most definitely fruit of the Spirit, and it's good to view them as being together and things that God will develop together in us as His Spirit grows in us, as His Spirit has more and more control in our lives. These things together will become more evident. And I guess things like patience and self-control are very daily things that take discipline and work over time, and hence why I was emphasising yesterday in James these imperatives that he brings that sit there complementary to the work that God's Spirit is doing in us. So what God is shaping in us as we are dominated more and more by His Spirit, this fruit, James and Paul and other places are urging us to cooperate with and cultivate, and as imperative language is used. And I was just looking at a little quote from J.I. Packer in relation to this, and the comment from my commentary was the comment around the Holy Spirit usually works in ordinary means of grace to bring spiritual growth. And then J.I. Packer, famous theologian, says this in developing this thought: the Spirit works through the objective means of grace, and that might be biblical truth, might be prayer, might be fellowship, worship, the Lord's Supper, and also through subjective means of grace, whereby we open ourselves to change. And that might be in our thinking, our listening, our questioning ourselves, examining ourselves, admonishing ourselves, sharing what is in our heart with others, and weighing any response they make. And then he goes on to say, the Spirit shows His power in us, usually not by constantly interrupting our use of these means with visions, impressions or prophecies, and that will happen sometimes though, but rather usually by making these regular means effective to change us for the better and for the wiser as we go along. Habit forming is the Spirit's ordinary way of leading us on in holiness. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control are all of them habitual ways of thinking, feeling and behaving. And I thought that was helpful for us today as we continue to reflect on the fruit of the Spirit, that God means for us to be working together with Him in shaping His character in us, and that being expressed. And it'll be little mundane things like patience and self-control. And the reality, I think I said one of my last applications yesterday was that one of the applications for us is to practice it. And the reality is, as we set ourselves to cooperate with God in practicing this fruit that He has for us, that He wants to develop in us, it will be more and more evident in us. So I want to encourage you in that this week. Think about the little things, the habit forming that God is seeking to do in you, and I want to encourage you in cooperating with Him. Thank you.